Hey there, David here with Kopialine, and today I'm going to be addressing an issue that has come up a few times, and I've gotten a couple comments about, and that's line quality. Someone asked me, they said, I don't understand when to make lines thinner, when to make them thicker. It seems to me like thinner, thick lines can produce a different look, and I just want to know a little bit more about how to do that. So here's a drawing I did. This is of my cat Loki, and it has an array of different line qualities. Some of them are thick and they go thin. Some serve to add texture. Some serve to add form. Some are very light and not attached to anything. They really just suggest fur in this case and whiskers. Some can be really clear and distinct. Some can be really blurry. Sometimes they go in different directions. They can be curved, they can be straight, they have corners, they can be complete, or they can be broken. And all of that just serves to kind of give a feeling to the picture you're working on, or the lines themselves. So the way you get better at it is by doing it, and practicing it, and seeing how to make those different lines. So some ways you would improve it is by drawing freehand on a piece of paper and just drawing lots of lines. Normally this happens with drawing itself, but you can practice it on your own. If I were to draw a straight line quickly, I get this kind of a shape. This might not be the exact shape I want, so I might have to redo it a few times, which means draw it lightly. If it's not what I want, I could erase it, or I could just do it until I'm getting it right. What happens sometimes early on in drawing is we'll go really slowly like this and make what I would call a really sketchy line. And it might even be worse than that. It might be more like this. And that's okay. But line quality is what this really refers to. It's the quality of my lines. Do I have really nice, clean, straight lines? Or do I have maybe like a messier line? One thing to consider in a picture is line weight. So when you're working on, let's say, a Copia page, different weight on different parts of your lines will actually make something look three-dimensional. It can indicate lighting, so it can really show off where something is, where the light source is, or even the thickness of material. Like let's say this tree trunk, it has a thick kind of bark. You can see it over here, but you can't see it here. So if I draw this line thick, it actually looks like it's three-dimensional. If I take the gnome's beard, for instance, and I just draw a more controlled thin line here, and I draw it thicker on this side, then his beard will actually look three-dimensional, and it will actually look like the character is alive a little bit more. It tells you where the light source is coming from. It's coming from over here. It's hitting his beard. The beard is blocking the light, and so it's thicker on this side. And that could be difficult to imagine, at first. Usually you can look for signs of where light source is coming from, like right here. You can see it's a little bit darker on this area. That's shadow. So you get shadow on round objects when the light source is over here. So as you can see, it's starting to look a bit three-dimensional. So you can do other things. One thing I like to do is to use a broken line. If I were to draw these pants, if the light source is over here, I might want to actually show that in the line. So I might draw the first part of the line, leave it open, and then draw the end part of the line. And your mind actually fills in the missing area. So I can do it again to show you. You can see how it kind of brings it to life in a new way, and that's really fun. So let's talk about practicing a little more. So when you're drawing, you can draw just straight lines. Practice that. Let's say a straight line. You can practice curved lines. And just by drawing them on paper, you'll naturally start to get a feel for the lines that you really like. When you practice calligraphy, often you simply go like this. You have one of these shapes, and this is the letter M. And that's how you get better at writing cursive or calligraphy type shapes like that. So same goes for you. And that shape's very, very common just in our alphabet. And the same goes for line quality. If you want to practice, try figuring out how to stop it, how to start again. How do I go off in different directions? How do I make complex shapes in one go? And don't be afraid to just be wild, have fun with it. It's really the point of being creative. And, when you're drawing, often you can get really locked into one idea or the other. You can get locked into perfection, trying to make your image perfect. But I think in the end, perfection kind of happens over time anyway, as you get to know yourself and get to develop kind of an understanding of what you enjoy and how you're going to try to express yourself. And that's really awesome. I think that's a really fun thing to explore. So when you're drawing your pictures, you're working on your book, or you're just sketching and doodling, you have more room to play. So part of the question was, where do I put them? Yeah, I put them where I like. And so it just depends what I want. If I want to express the form better, then I figure out where to put them. So I'll make it thicker on the bottom parts of things to show the form. I can make little tiny lines to show detail. I can put patterns of line to show lighting and form as well. So in a nutshell, that's line quality. I hope you had a good time watching this, and I hope you get to try a bunch. Leave any comments if you have any questions or just have some more ideas you want to share. I'm David, and let's draw.